Ladies and gentlemen, this is your WWE SmackDown review on Friday, July 2nd, 2021. I am Joseph Conlon. Thank you all for joining me so much here tonight on the Big Fight Field channel. Let me fix my mic here while I'm talking to you. Hope you guys are having a good Friday night. Oh boy, we got a lot to talk about tonight, man. I don't really have that much rumors to talk about as I did last week. I'm here at my grandfather's beautiful house. Got some baseball on the background. Got a brand new Dallas Cowboys hat on. Got SmackDown tonight. It was something. This show tonight was something, man. We are obviously going to talk about everything that happened with Edge and Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, believe it or not, was not even on this show tonight. Roman Reigns was a no-show tonight, leading into his match at Money in the Bank. We had one of the best SmackDown matches, I think, of the entire year. A fantastic Money in the Bank ladder match, or the Money in the Bank qualifier match, which is a last man standing match between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. We're going to talk about that. And then, obviously, the big thing that everybody's talking about, I'm going to save it for when we get to that portion of the review, is Zelina Vega. She's back. That's all I'm going to say. You're going to have to tune into the rest of the review, and I'm sure you will, to see what I have to say about Zelina Vega. But ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all for joining me here tonight on the Big Fight Field channel. We are going to get started very, very shortly here. And if you all have not already, be sure to go check out my NXT review with Cameron Johnson this past Tuesday night, and my AEW Dynamite review with Wesley Williams this past Wednesday night as well. So I had to stutter those words, but we are going to get started very shortly here. We're going to start with the news and rumors because last week I felt like the news was more important than the actual show itself. But we are going to dive into this news right now very quickly. The show, there's going to be more to talk about on tonight's show. So let me pull it up here. The first one I only got two. It really wasn't much big of a news week in the WWE. Not a lot of news like last week, but we're gonna dive into these rumors right now very quickly, and then we're gonna get into the SmackDown review. So the first one I got is about Bobby Lashley, and it's nothing related to Kenice Mobley in that situation. Last week she's fired, and I'm pretty sure she's no longer going to be talked about. But speaking of Bobby Lashley is scheduled to face Kofi Kingston at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. However, it is unlikely that the program will spill over until SummerSlam. Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer newsletter noted that while Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley is a match that the fans want to see, it is unlikely to take place at SummerSlam. How reliable that is, I don't know. I'm not really so sure. It'll be reliable once we see Brock Lesnar back on WWE television. But he says it's unlikely to happen. That while Brock Lesnar, he said that The Fiend or Bill Goldberg are on the bench for a match against Bobby Lashley at SummerSlam. Obviously, I want to see Brock Lesnar. Obviously, the match you need to go with for SummerSlam for the WWE Championship is Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. That is a no-doubter right there. But Bray Wyatt, I honestly have no interest in seeing that. I have no interest in seeing Bray Wyatt versus Bobby Lashley because, A, Bobby Lashley should not be losing to Bray Wyatt after I don't even remember the last time Bray Wyatt has won a match. He hasn't been on television since WrestleMania, and I never want to see The Fiend go for a championship again. His character does not fit going for championships at all. So I don't want to see that. And Bill Goldberg, you guys all know that. He was just challenging for the WWE Championship all the way back at the Royal Rumble. Now you want to bring him back to challenge for the championship again? Like, I understand that WWE wants big names for SummerSlam, and in their eyes, they think Goldberg is going to be a big draw for SummerSlam. Would I be shocked, if I'm being honest with you, would I be shocked if we see Bill Goldberg come back and challenge Bobby Lashley? Absolutely not, because there is legit nobody else on the Monday Night Raw roster who is ready or is credible enough to go one-on-one with Bobby Lashley. There's legit nobody. So I don't want to see it. But I don't want to see Goldberg. But would I be shocked? No. I wouldn't be. So that's the news I have with Bobby Lashley and potential SummerSlam opponent. Then I got an interesting story about Bronson Reed. And then we are going to get on to SmackDown. Bronson Reed did an interview with El Brunch de WWE. I don't know what podcast that is. I'm guessing it's on a WWE platform somewhere. But he discussed a wide range of topics while on this interview. During it, he was asked who he wants to face when he gets to the WWE main roster. And he said, and I quote, "It would be Roman Reigns," Reed answered. "Straight away. Straight to the tribal chief, the head of the table. I'll take him on." Reed also stated that he would like to be on SmackDown whenever he gets called up. He said, "That's a tough choice. I think both have benefits, but if I had to choose, I would. If I had to leave the black and gold brand in NXT, I'd probably say the blue brand," Reed says. Be careful what you wish for, Bronson Reed. Wanting to go up to the main roster and wanted to be associated with Bruce Pritchard, it might not be your best interest. I'm just saying. It might not be your best interest to go ahead and affiliate yourself with Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard, because I don't see Bronson Reed getting pushed on the main roster. As much as I love the guy, as much of a great talent he is, I don't see Vince wanting to push Bronson Reed. I hope I'm wrong. Obviously, I don't want to see him buried because the guy doesn't deserve it. But going straight up to Roman Reigns, come on, man. I don't even think that's realistic. I mean, you got to build your way up to be on the same level as Roman Reigns. I don't mean this by any disrespect, but Roman Reigns is up here. Where's Bronson Reed? Where is Bronson Reed going to be by the time he gets on the main roster? Does the main roster does the Raw and SmackDown audience even know who Bronson Reed is? They should be watching NXT, but say they don't. Do they even know who Bronson Reed is? I highly doubt it. Highly, highly doubt it. But we'll have to see what happens. I'm just saying, Bronson Reed, you better be careful what you wish for, man. If I were you, I would not want to wish to go to the main roster. I just don't think that's ideal for him whatsoever. But that's all the news that I have this week. Very slow news week in WWE. I'm hoping that we have some more news next week for the SmackDown review here on the channel. It's the last Thunderdome episode of SmackDown next week, so hopefully we make it a big week here. But we're going to get into the SmackDown review right now as we just reached 10 minutes into the review. SmackDown started off tonight with Edge. Edge came out and he's like, I had this vision in my head. I set this as reality in my head that at WrestleMania on April 11th, 2021, 10 years to the day, when I relinquished the World Heavyweight Championship and I announced retirement, that I was going to come back 10 years later and win the Universal Championship. Have my moment. Have my farewell in that fashion. But then it didn't happen. And it hurt me for a bit, he said. He said he had to take time off because of it. All he did was think about that triple threat match. And he even rewatched the match. And he says he doesn't rewatch matches a lot. And he says that him and Roman Reigns are the only two people that know that Edge can beat him. Because Edge had him beat in the crossface. He had him beat with the spear until Daniel Bryan pulled out the referee. He had him beat when he was going to hit the concerto on him until Jey Uso came in and interfered. And now he's here, he's back, and he wants the Universal Championship. So he cut a very good promo. Edge is a great promo. Probably him and Roman Reigns are the best promos on the main roster right now. No question about it. That's a great aspect to have Edge. He's already excelling in this Roman Reigns feud, the short-term feud with Roman Reigns, and then the feud with Seth Rollins going into SummerSlam. I think the feuds between the promos between him and Seth Rollins are going to be really good. So we'll have to see what happens with that. We have more Edge to end the show with Jimmy Uso as he got called out by Jimmy Uso. We're going to talk about that towards the end of this review. But we started the action with Big E and Shinsuke Nakamura versus Apollo Crews, and they depressed Baron Corbin. Oh, awesome. I'm so happy, man. Once again, another week, another Friday, we get to see Big E and Apollo Crews in the same ring. I love it. I absolutely love it. Even Big E is tired of facing Apollo Crews. He said, basically all I've done since January is face Apollo Crews on SmackDown every other week. And he's looking at Money in the Bank as a fresh restart. I just wanted to bring that up. Even Big E is... I said this last week. Can you imagine Big E and Apollo Crews going into work every week and you're looking at what the script they give you, what you're doing on the show, and you look on the script and go like, God, I got to wrestle this guy again? That's exactly how Big E feels, man. And I'm pretty sure that's the same thing how Apollo Crews feels as well. I'm pretty sure he's got to be sick and tired of facing Big E every single week. And now it's the same thing with Shinsuke Nakamura and Baron Corbin. They've been in the same ring together, 6 times out of 7 weeks? Last week they didn't ever wrestle. And before that, they wrestled each other 5 straight weeks on SmackDown. And now they're in a tag team match together. And then next week, they're in a Money in the Bank qualifying match. So let me get this straight. In the last 2 months of SmackDown, 2 months, 8 weeks, we would have seen Shinsuke Nakamura versus Baron Corbin 6 times. 6 times. Can you imagine how much of an overkill that is? Jamming it in the fans' throats. Are you serious, man? My God, they have nobody on this roster. Literally nobody. To the fact that we got the same guys facing each other every single week. Seth Rollins and Cesaro is another one, as they're gonna have a Money in the Bank qualifying match next week on SmackDown. You know, everybody in the wrestling community praises SmackDown, and no one brings this up. No one brings this up when it comes to SmackDown. They say we get the same rematches on Raw, which is true. I'm not going to say it's not true because we do every single week, and it's tiring as hell. But we get the same thing on SmackDown as well. You all can't forget that. So, this was a fine tag team match. Just going to get to the ending here. Baron Corbin hits the deep six on to Big E. And then he hits deep six onto Big E. And then they show a video on the Titantron of Baron Corbin's Jeep getting toted and getting taken away. So, whoever decided to put that on the Titantron mid-match when he was about to win is a complete moron. And it's the reason why Baron Corbin lost tonight. Baron Corbin got distracted by this. He hits the big end, and he gets hit by the big ending by Big E. And Big E gets the win for himself and Shinsuke Nakamura. So, that was that. Nothing really special here. But we're going to move on to a face-to-face with Bianca Belair and Bayley. They had a face-to-face, and Bayley's like, I'm in your head. You know, I'm in your head. I got you scared of me. You don't want to see me. All of this shit. And Bianca is just like, you know, I'm tired of hearing you talk. And I beat you over and over again. And all you're going to do is come back, and you're going to come back every time. And I want to end this once and for all. And what basically happened was Bianca Belair, once again, she challenged Bayley to a match at Hell in a Cell. And then again, she challenged Bayley to a match at Money in the Bank. I might be a little nitpicky here, man, but I don't like when the champions challenge the challenger for a match at the pay-per-view. I really don't like that. It should always be vice versa. The champion should never. I don't think the champion should ever lay out the challenge to a match. That goes for any brand. That goes for Raw, obviously. That goes for SmackDown, obviously. That goes for NXT. That goes for AEW. Unless it makes sense. Like a Moxley, for an example, saying, defending the title, a TNT Championship Open Challenge. In that instance, that with the TNT Championship, that makes sense. So I totally understand that. But with stuff like this, I'm not really a big fan of. But we are getting Bayley and Bianca Belair in an I Quit match. And best believe you better sign me up for that match. I don't care how bad the feud is. I don't care how much I want the feud to be over. I don't care how predictable it is, because there's no way on earth that Bayley is going to win this match. We are fastly approaching SummerSlam, and Sasha Banks is going to come back any minute now. She's going to come back any day now. And what do you think sounds better? You think another Bayley and Banks match, which I love their matches, but right now the bigger story is the rematch between Sasha and Bianca, and Sasha coming back as a heel. She needs to come. I don't care how many times I've said this on the SmackDown reviews. I probably said it last week. I'm going to say it again. When Sasha comes back and they continue the feud with her and Bianca, I don't want to see the same thing we got to build the WrestleMania and them being baby faces. And can they coexist? I don't know. I want to see Sasha Banks come back as a nasty and vicious heel. That makes the best television, and that's the best way you can go by this feud. So we got Bayley and Bianca again. I quit. I think it should be a great match. I really do. I'm excited. Speaking of great matches, this was one of the best matches I've seen on SmackDown this year. No joke. We've seen, what have we seen on? I don't even remember. We saw Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns that one episode where Daniel Bryan was forced to retire or leave SmackDown. I'm not so sure, but this match will ultimately be one of the best SmackDown matches that happened on SmackDown the entire year. This match was fantastic, guys. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn in a ladder match. Not a last man standing. Not even close. Their best match in this series of matches they've had since WrestleMania. They literally murdered each other out there. Literally murdered each other. And the story is outstanding as well. I don't know how Sami Zayn got back up at the count of... I'm sorry, I don't know how Kevin Owens got back up at the count of 10 once he hit the... once he went crashing through the two tables. On the turnbuckle, Sami Zayn just dumps him over his head. Kevin Owens flips over him, and he goes crashing through two tables. I swear to God, that was the finish. Kevin Owens got back up. I'm like, oh my God. How is that not? How is a big spot like that not the finish to your match? So I was amazed. Then these guys keep killing each other. Literally, they're destroying each other. They are telling a great story. Sami's in the ring. He's dominating. He hits the explosive suplex. He hits Michael Cole's favorite call, the Blue Thunder Bomb. And then he hits a haluva kick. And Kevin Owens gets back up. He hits another haluva kick. And when Kevin Owens goes down, Sami Zayn hugs him. And he keeps him up. And he gets to the turnbuckle. And he tells him, karma is a bitch. And he hits another haluva kick. And I'm like, this is over. This match has to be over. But Kevin Owens rolls to the outside on 9. And he stands on his feet. Sami Zayn is beside himself, man. Absolutely losing it. And he goes on the outside. And he goes for the in-between the turnbuckle DDT. When he does that move, Kevin Owens gives him a super kick. He then throws him on the barricade, the ring post. And then he hits a power bomb through the announce table, a power bomb through the regular table, and then a power bomb onto the hardest part of the ring, which is the apron. And Kevin Owens wins this excellent last man standing match and is going to Money in the Bank. Literally, I'm telling you guys the truth. You guys need, if you did not watch SmackDown tonight, you need to go out and check this match. Just like I said with MJF and Sammy Guevara on Wednesday night. You need to go out and check this match, man. Unbelievable, man. I'm shocked. I'm shocked Kevin Owens won. Because Meltzer said that Kevin Owens was going to go on a break and spend some time with his family. And that did not happen. Kevin Owens is going to Money in the Bank. And so far, for the men's ladder match, man, we got McIntyre, Ricochet, John Morrison, Matt Riddle, Big E, Kevin Owens. If you ask me, man, that's a very good field for the Money in the Bank match. I'm thinking that's going to be one hell of a match at the pay-per-view. I'm so excited for that match. And it's not predictable as well. And I'm sure as we lead into Money in the Bank, we'll get some more speculation onto who's actually going to win Money in the Bank. But we are going to move on from that to Sonya Deville. Oh, Sonya Deville. She marches out and she announces the next woman to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match and represent SmackDown. I don't know what she says before this. I don't remember. But she welcomes Zelina Vega. Yes. Her real name, Thea Trinidad, who everybody wanted to see in AEW. What a dumbass. What a dumbass, man. Literally, I saved a tweet. Someone in one of my group chats put it in the chat, and I saved it to talk about it tonight. On November 13th, 2020, Zelina Vega was released because she said, I support unionization. She didn't want to cancel her Twitch. She created an OnlyFans because she had to cancel her Twitch channel. She was doing all this stuff, unionization, supporting unionization, and she was going off on WWE. There was rumors that she stormed right into Vince McMahon's office, and she was gone. And now, 6 months later, or 7 months later, she's back. And on her first night, she loses to Liv Morgan in 2 minutes. Her first night back, she jobbed out in 2 minutes. I am, really quickly, I'm going to read a tweet from one of my good friends in the community. Indigo Uchiha, I'm sure you're watching this review, brother. So shout out to you. Shout out to you. Always been a real one. Make sure you guys go follow Indigo on Twitter. I'm going to have to get him back on the channel sometime this summer or in 2021. We'll see. But he tweets the following. Not watching SmackDown right now, but I heard Zelina Vega is back. I'm sorry, but that was a foolish decision. How you preach about unionization and complain about keeping your third parties just to come back. Now I see why Tommy End didn't shit on WWE on his Twitch stream. And he's 100% correct. And thinking about this, I'm nervous that her husband is going to be stupid enough to come back. And just like her, if Aleister Black comes back to the WWE just to be with his wife and do the same stuff he was doing, I will lose all my respect for him. This shows two things. Number one, and I think it's pretty obvious. She's in it for the money. Well, what other reason could Zelina Vega want to possibly come back? I legit don't know. But that's the obvious reason, is because she wanted the money. I'm sure Vince McMahon threw thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars at Zelina Vega, and she couldn't resist. So she's like, you know what? I'll come back. I'm going to do the same thing that I did before I left. And you know what? In 1 month, she's gonna be a job. She's gonna be irrelevant. She's literally gonna be irrelevant in 1 month. And you know what, folks? Usually, I feel bad when people that I like get buried. Like, I hate seeing. I hate not seeing Keith Lee on television. I hate talent like Ricochet and who else can I name? Ricochet, Damian Priest, Cedric, a bunch of guys be super underutilized. Shinsuke Nakamura, he's another one who I feel like is really underutilized. I get really pissed off when these people are underutilized. But I am not going to feel bad for Zelina Vega. She did this to herself. She buried her own grave. And if she gets jobbed out, if she gets put in shitty segments, if she's made to look like a complete buffoon, you know what? I'm not going to feel bad for her. You know why? Because she did this on her. She forced this upon herself. She knew what she was getting into, but she didn't care because she took the dirty dollar that Vince McMahon gave her. And she could have been in AEW. She could have been managing Andrade El Idolo, who is one of the most talented wrestlers in the entire world at only 31 years old, who I'm sure when his time comes, he's going to be a top guy in the company. And when his time comes, he is going to be either a TNT champion or an AEW world champion. She could have been associated with him again and in AEW, but she decided to come back to WWE and do the exact same thing. Like, how are you going to do that? How are you going to call out your company that you originally worked for, tweet out support unionization, all this third-party bullshit? How are you going to do that, and then you're just going to come back in 7 months later to the same company? And who in about a month, they're not going to give a fuck about her. So, I've truly lost all my respect for her. I really have. And, you know, I pray to God, okay? I pray to God that Aleister Black does not do the same. Tommy End does not do the same. Because that dude, that guy will thrive outside of WWE. No question. AEW, New Japan, anywhere. And I'm scared he's going to come back to WWE now just because his wife's there. And I'll tell you what, if he does that, if he decides to do that, I'm going to be very disappointed in him. I really am. Because he can thrive outside of WWE. And he knows that. So, I guess we all know the reason why now that he never said a bad thing about WWE after he got released. So, what a crazy situation that is. And then, to end it all off, we had Jimmy Uso calling out Edge. Edge came out and he's like, what happened to you being nobody's bitch? What happened to you standing by, like, going against Roman? What happened to all of that? Was you not siding with Roman and your brother? What happened to that Jimmy Uso? Now, you are one of Roman's bitches and you do his dirty work for him. So, he says, you're not setting up the trap for me. I'm setting up the trap for you. And he goes in there and he kicks the shit out of Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso then kicks the shit out of him and gives him a super kick. He goes for another one. Edge gives him a big boot. Edge hits him with a spear. He gets a steel chair and he breaks a leg of the steel chair and he puts it on the mouth of Jimmy Uso, exactly like he did to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania in the crossface position. And that was the ending of SmackDown. No Roman Reigns on tonight's episode, and believe it or not, for the first time in months, he was not the big talking point of the show. And that cake goes to Zelina Vega and her miserable decision to come back to the same company that she was pissed off at 7 months ago. I'm still heated about that. But I am getting out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to tonight's SmackDown review. If you have not already, be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Fuel channel. This is just the first of many big reviews we're going to have here on the channel, man. We got some big shows in July. We got Great American Bash Tuesday night. We got Road Rager. We got Fyter Fest, Fight for the Fallen, Money in the Bank. We got the fans coming back for both AEW and WWE. And then August, SummerSlam. It's going to be a huge month here on the channel, man. And a huge summer as well. I'm calling it right now. I should have said it at the Hell in a Cell review because that's when the summer started. But this is going to be the summer of Conlon. You heard it here, folks. The summer of 2021 is officially the summer of Conlon. You heard it here. So be sure to subscribe. Comment down below your thoughts about tonight's episode of SmackDown, Zelina Vega's return. Leave it all down below. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from me in tonight's SmackDown review. And follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Conlon_Joseph. And guys, I want you to enjoy your 4th of July weekend. I actually have work on 4th of July, so I will enjoy the night portion of 4th of July, watching some fireworks down the shore, and then we are going to get busy next week. So enjoy your 4th of July weekend with your family. Stay safe. Have some hot dogs. Watch some sports. And watch some fireworks as well, man. Have fun. This pandemic is basically over, in my opinion. No one's wearing a mask anymore anywhere outside of airports. So I love it, man. We are getting back to normal, and it is a great thing to see. So you guys have a good night. Stay safe. I will see you for your Monday Night Raw review this coming Monday. Have a good night, guys.